So here we have it. RFK is basically stating that the Democrats made a huge mistake with Joe Biden stepping down. So we're going to get into it, guys. If you're new here, welcome to the King Squad. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps get the truth out there so more people can be exposed to the truth and enjoy this content just like you right now. And thank you to everyone who leaves a positive comment, donates, and keeps me updated, and all the above. You guys are the bomb.com, and I hope everyone's having a great and prosperous day. So let's get right into the video. Let's go.
Democrats have called themselves the party of democracy, but they ran the least. So the Democrats have called themselves.
I will be giving my thoughts and commentary on the back end, so definitely stay tuned for that.
The party of democracy, but they ran the least Democratic primary ever. They skipped Iowa, New Hampshire, jumped straight to South Carolina. They killed all primary debates, booted RFK Jr. from the party because he posed a threat to Joe. Today, RFK Jr. held a press conference to tell Democrats, "I told you so."
A year ago, a little over a year ago, when I entered this race, I predicted that President Biden suffered from a degenerative condition that was not going to improve and that it would make it impossible for him to govern effectively. The reaction of the DNC to that obvious condition was to hide it from the American public and to use their power over the Democratic Party nomination process to make sure that nobody could compete with President Biden in a way that would expose his deficiencies. And as a result, we are where we are today, which is in a period of crisis.
Presidential candidate RFK Jr. joins us now. So, RFK, you ran the right way. You did what you were supposed to do. You're a Democrat. You primaried a Democrat incumbent, and they wouldn't let you. How did they jam you out of this thing? Because now look at what happened.
Yeah, I think it was a strategic mistake by the Democrats, Jesse, and you and I have talked about this before. But they got rid of, they changed the primary rules while while we were running the primary. They changed 60 different rules to make it impossible for anybody to challenge Joe Biden. One of the things that you remember that they did to me is I'd been campaigning in New Hampshire, so they adopted a rule that said that any political candidate, any Democratic candidate who campaigns in New Hampshire, who steps foot into the state of New Hampshire, that all of their votes would go to the president, all of their delegates would go to the president instead of going to that. And then they shut down the Florida primary. They shut down a bunch of primaries, just said, we're not running them. We already have our candidate. You know, a few weeks ago, President Biden was ridiculing Vladimir Putin, who won 88% of the vote in Russia. And he said, you know, that was a fixed election, because President Putin had made sure no adversaries could challenge him, and also that he had fixed the press so the press wouldn't cover his adversaries. Well, the Democratic Party succeeded in doing the same thing. I haven't been allowed on any of the Democratic networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, as you know, Fox has allowed me on, although Fox, people like you have allowed me to speak. You debate me. You give me a platform, even though you don't agree with things that I say. And I think that's the way the media is supposed to work. But the other media networks have forgotten about that.
When you're playing with children, you just change the rules in the middle of the game and just kind of make it up as you go along. You can't do that when it comes to these high stakes. You know how things operate at conventions. There's been a long history of chicanery at these things. You've now have uncommitted delegates. Are we going to see bribery? Are we going to see quid pro quo? Are we going to see ambassadorships promised, donors greased? This is a sprint to grease as many delegates by mid-August as possible.
Yeah, I think, some of that is bound to happen. I think most of those delegates are kind of mom and pop people. They're committed to Biden. They committed originally to Biden. his releasing them, I think a lot of them are probably idealistic people who want to see the Democratic nominee, or terrified of Donald Trump, who want to see the Democratic nominee succeed. But I don't. The indicators now, Jesse, is that the party elites are not really going to let go of the process, and we'll see what happens. The last time, there's a lot of similarities between this election and what happened with my dad's election in 1968. There was a war going on at that time that was very controversial and it was very damaging to our country. There were protesters in the street. The convention was in Chicago, and my father, who was leading, got knocked out by an assassin's bullet, not by a resignation. You, in effect, had an open convention, but the DNC at that time tried to maintain control over it. They put their candidate in, which was Hubert Humphrey. There was the convention became riotous, and the riots shocked the American public, and they didn't want anything to do with the Democratic Party after that. And I think a lot of people in the Democratic Party probably should look back to what happened in 1968 and take some caution from allowing the party elites to continue to exercise control over their choices.
That would be good, sage advice from RFK Jr. And we will be, Jesse Waters Primetime, in Chicago, covering the DNC, and now it just got a whole lot more interesting.
Yeah, so there we have it. I personally think that this was the Democrats' plan the entire time. So, have Joe step down, usher in Kamala Harris. But I really think that it really helps Trump win all the more. I think Trump is really going to win by a landslide, personally. And comment down below if you agree. Comment down below, do you think Kamala Harris stands a serious chance against Trump? I definitely don't think so. I think they're in a state of panic, so they're going to do everything they can to put her, position her up. And even at the time of this recording, seeing how hard they're going for her technically being the first black female president, as well as the first female president, technically speaking. But I really don't think she stands a serious chance, because at the same time, a lot of people have waken up. You got a lot of Democrats that are also, really turning away from the Democratic Party and going Trump and voting Trump. So you have that, and the Democrats are really in a civil war amongst themselves. So you got the Hillary Clinton traditional type Democrats, all those different Democrats, versus the anti-common sense Democrat, all the woke Democrats. And it's just a giant conundrum on their end. But I really think that a lot of people have woken up. And granted, there's still an entire huge amount of people that are just lost in the sauce and just remain to be sheeple. But I really think that a lot of people are seeing the state of the country. And I even see it with a lot of people stating that with Kamala, it's a mistake to put her in office. It's a mistake to have her be the president. I see people I see Democrats checking other Democrats saying that, hey, you really don't want this. I'm telling you, Trump 2024. I'm like, wow. It's mind-blowing to me. So it's really interesting stuff, and I really still believe that Trump is going to win by a landslide. And if anything, this is their last option, really. And then there's talk of them bringing in Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton. Comment down below what you guys think about that. Do you think it'll be who the Democratic nominee, the number one person they go with and put their money into? Who do you think it will be? Do you think it'll be Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, shout out to Big Mike, and or Kamala Harris? I personally think they will stick with Kamala Harris. And I mean, Michelle Obama would be more of a wild card. I think Hillary Clinton would try to shoot her shot, but I think she would miss. And I really think Michelle Obama would try to come in as a savior, but it just wouldn't work out the way they expected. I think Kamala is who they're really running with, especially seeing the amount of support she's getting from them right now. But I still think somehow, some way, it's going to just fall on her face. I don't think I don't want to see her as president at all, quite frankly. It's really just interesting. a lot of people look at me crazy right now because even me being a black man, people are looking at me like, well, yeah, vote black because she's black. She's not even black. She's like Indian, I think. And then something about her parents were divorced, and then she didn't even grow up with like her brown side of the family. Like it's a whole thing with that. I don't know all the backstory of Kamala Harris, but I just know, yeah, nah, that's just another. She's either Indian or she's a tragic mulatto. I don't want to hear it. So that's my thoughts on it. Somehow, some way, this thing is going to fall flat on its face like a pancake on the floor for the Democrats. That's my own personal thoughts regarding everything. So that's that, guys. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched this video all the way through. Thank you to everyone who left a positive comment. Make sure to drink your water, take a walk, do something healthy and productive today. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. We out.